what are we doing today? I haven't put out a video in a while, so this is unusual. We're here at WD Farms. We're going to learn how they process onions. They are in Corinne, Utah. This is a person I work for. I mainly run most of their equipment and fix their equipment.
Hey everybody, my name's Wade Norman. I farm, raise onions here in Corinne, Utah. I've been doing it since 1995. Finished school at Utah State, got a dual major over there. Finished up, came over here, got into the operations, and as you can see, the original building. We're in the original building. We bought this in 1998 from a gentleman by the name of Vince Harper, and he had just gone through some hard times, so he was selling the facility. We purchased it in 1998, put the air system in ourselves, and the air flume is on the side where you see the lights up above. Those are the fans that are running. We blow air through these piles, and that will store these onions clear into March and April of next year. When we started in 1998, I think we were raising about 50 acres, and now we're up to 270 acres that we're raising per year. The operation has grown over the years to where it's starting to become where it controls us and we don't control it. That's a little scary, but so we're pretty comfortable where we're at right now. What does the future hold? I'm sure we'll probably have to continue to expand a little bit.
So he was saying that there's airflow that runs through these, and I don't know if you'll be able to laid out underneath and through this whole thing. There's a demonstration. But yeah, there's quite a bit of airflow that goes through there. How many fans are running these?
Oh, each one of these pipes has a fan on it. I think the motor's like a horse and a half. Motor.
Yeah, so there's quite a bit there. So what's the difference between red onions and white onions and then the yellow onions?
Great question. Each one of them I think has a little unique taste to them. The taste will vary just a little bit in them. But I think a lot of it's just what they use them for. It just depends on, like your reds, most of the time they use those in salads. Your yellow ones they use for onion rings, hamburgers. The bigger ones they use them for those awesome blossoms at restaurants. White ones, I'm not totally sure what they use them for, other than Mexicans like them a lot. So a lot of them go to your, I believe, retail stores for Mexican people, or Oriental as well. These here have been going to North Carolina this year to an outfit out there that uses a lot of them. In fact, I think we're getting ready. We've got a few in the bags we'll be shipping here today, in fact. Shipping out to North Carolina again.
So how do they go bad? Can they go bad?
Yeah, so they keep them bad. Of course, you get some like that where they get beat up by machinery to harvest, or most of the time they'll go bad in the neck. So they'll start spoiling right here, and then they'll go on into the bulb. Also, over time, if the soil, you've grown onions for a long time in the soil, they'll start to get a pink root on them, and they're just a root that looks pink. When you start seeing that, eventually you're going to see butt rot, is what they call it. It starts rotting from the butt.
Is there a specific temperature that you try to keep this building at, or is it just kind of what temperature outside is blowing through the fans?
Yeah. Well, you know, we've got louvers on our plenum so that we can open and shut those louver doors, and we try and like to keep the temperature in there about 40 to 50 degrees, somewhere in that range. But you know, when they first come in, you'll feel the heat off it. You know, you can feel the heat coming off the pile, and so you'll have to bring in night air to cool them down during the night, and then try and shut the louvers in the morning so it keeps that cold air in here. But when it gets to winter time, we pretty much leave the louvers closed so that we don't freeze them. So yeah, natural air pretty much keeps them down where they need to be.
What is the majority of your onions? Do you grow majority of white, the red, or the yellow?
So this past year we had 10 acres of whites, well actually 7 acres of whites, and then 22 acres of reds, and then the rest of the 270 acres minus 30 acres, so you're 240 acres of yellows. Yellows is the big one.
Yeah. Is that because they produce more, or are they worth more? Or are they easier to clean?
There's just more demand.
More demand?
Market for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see, there's quite a bit here. There's a pretty big pile of these two. I'll show you the yellow onions that are over there. There's a lot more of those, so.
This shed has, I believe it has 12 of these bays, 12 sections between the two structures. And so there's about 8 bays back through there. And this is all loaded with onions. This very last one we came in, they were a little bit green. So you can tell the air is starting to dry them down. And a couple more weeks, they'll be dried down enough where we can run them and ship them and sell them that way. They generally skin up really good while they're in storage as well. There's probably just an 160,000 50-pound bags here, just in this pile. So quite a few.
A lot of onions.
Hopefully later on you can get up on the flume and you'll be able to see how big of a pile that was.
Yeah. There's onions back to the light that you can see coming in through the vents back there. There's a lot of onions there.
And then from these, it goes up an incline belt into some brushes. And those brushes just pull some of the skin off and kind of clean them up. And then they go into this green machine, and that's our inline topper. And that machine takes any excess copper off the bulb. After they run through there, they go through this blue machine. The blue machine is the sizer. You get size, mediums, jumbos, clumps, and super. And you size them according to the diameter of the bulb. The ladies are sorting off the pull-out onions, bulbs. And then once goes past them, they drop into these automatic baggers. And they fill them and the exact weight. You can see the digital readout on the scale right there. Each machine has 2 belts. The The bigger belt will run until it gets to about 48 pounds, and then the smaller belt will finish it up to the 50.5. Once it's finished, then it turns the table. You release the lever, the back comes off, you tie them, and then you throw them on the pallet. So on our operation, we have 4 lasers. Actually 3, sorry. We have the Bear Valley Onion Supreme. And then we have Little Mountain Onion. I believe these are colossal size. And we have the Golden Spike label, and we put our jumbles in them. And then for our whites and our reds, we use Bear Valley and Golden Spike for those two. These here are the supers, but they're the same way. Let's go over to our whites here. So our Bear Valley will be the white mediums, and then medium reds will be Bear Valley. Jumbo reds are Golden Spike, and the same with the whites. Come in Monday, and you can see where we stacked them up there on the 2nd floor. That's where we store them until we need them, and then we bring them down to the line. And pretty much all this area here is for storage. And then if you look up above the bags here, we got a fan there, and they call it a big ass fan. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
And it's big. And let's turn it on.
Get some airflow. Is that used to keep these onions here airflow just like that over there?
So they use these to blow the air down on them, and you'll be able to feel the air moving all the way around in this room, and it helps just to let the air flow through these bags while they're waiting to be shipped.
It's much brighter out there. But
Okay, so this is the dock area. We put this in about the time we put this lean-to in, and then we didn't have any roof over this for about 2 years, and we loaded a load of onions that were headed to, I think it was Houston, Texas. Anyway, while we were loading it, a rainstorm came through and rained on it, and it got them wet enough that when the trucker put the tarp over it, it kept it humid inside. And so when it got to the other end, they actually rejected the load because it wasn't dry enough. And so anyway, with the rejection of that load, we decided to put this roof. We built this roof on it and the sides here. And we wanted to keep some of the sides open so that we could look out and watch farmers do their thing, watch the tractors, and just see the sun and everything. So anyway, we built these docks ourselves too. They have semi-trailer landing gears underneath them. And then they're driven by a chain right here. It's under this shield. And so you just put this lever, you can raise them up and down. One thing you'll find out in the trucking business is you're going to be loading all types of trailers. drop deck flatbeds, reefers, and they can range from 53 to 48 feet. And so the height of the trailer varies a lot when you're loading them. So anyway, it's a little bit of a tour of the facility, and this is what we do all winter long.
Your winter hobby?
Winter hobby, yeah. This pays the bills on the farm.
Yeah.
So.
How big is your farm?
We probably own about 1,000, and then we're renting about 500. We took about 1,500 acres total.
And so you do wheat, dry edible beans, and onions? Is there anything else?
Do a little bit of alfalfa, hay, and grass. In the past, we raised a lot more hay than we have recently, but the hay market tanked here, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago. So we're looking to get back into that. We were up to 400 acres in hay, but we're down to like 5 right now.
5 acres.
Yeah, enough to make it miserable.
Enough to make it miserable.
Yeah. So anyway, we're probably going to rotate a little bit more hay into our system this upcoming year.
Nice. So they've stopped for lunch. All their workers went out for lunch. You see, here's the new bags. Haven't been opened up yet. There's some debris. It just gets a ton of debris everywhere. Now I'm just talking stuff that I don't even know. So he's talking about how they have the larger belt and the smaller belt. The larger belt to get the majority of the onions up, and the one just to top it off to make sure you get to the exact amount. That's what that looks like. Just a conveyor so they can have people cleaning it, I think is what that one is. I'm not super familiar with this. I haven't done any of this stuff, but I work for this guy, not doing this specific stuff. But here's another one. Oh man, it's getting, they got heaters up here. As you can see, they get rid of the onions here. Big bags. Oh. Yeah. So they come in from in there. They're just getting more clean. Right here's a bruise. You can see it. It's got a flat spot in it. Another one, another line. You can see these ones are the smaller ones. So, but let's head up over here. Show you the other stuff here. They just quit, so they just put stuff up here. But you can see there's the helps clean them. And then here's the sorters, sorts it into different sizes. Those should get farther apart, they spread apart, and the onions can drop down onto these conveyors, and these are set up to send out the right sizes out to those. Here's that shaker thing. I don't know what it looks like inside, but that cleans them. And we'll head back around. I think through here works. Yeah, that works. You can see up here, onions get dumped in here, and then they get conveyored out through this. It goes really slow, and then the belts dump them up into that, and that thing cleans them. Also, gets more of the coal, that stuff of the onions. So, and that's pretty much the operation they got going on here. I think it's really interesting. Who would have thought they would grow onions in the middle of Utah, but they do. So we're here to video it.